I'm live, it says. Okay, just got off work. I got home and tired. Doing okay, aside from that. This is like 12 on, 12 off with, 4 semi trucks a week. You got to go offload along with everything else. So it's a little bit tiring, especially for a geezer like me. So anyhow, it's what's left of Keith. Yeah, pretty much. Shoulder is getting a little better. It would have been getting a lot better if I hadn't fallen down on Monday or Tuesday in the truck and literally just jammed my elbow into the bed of the truck, which jammed my shoulder. And that lost me some progress there, but it's getting better. This was theoretically the busiest weekend, made it through, and I've got a little more mobility now than I did a couple days ago. So that's what's going on there. Don't know if anyone's there with hi Scott F. Yep. If anyone has any questions, go ahead. That's part of why I'm here. So if somebody has questions, I can answer them. Aside from that, Eva's spidey sense is starting to get really, really concerned about the situation at our current location. The situation that must not be named on YouTube. Anyhow, between that and the COVID lockdowns and the political situation here in Tucson, the mayor has instituted a 10 to 5 curfew and stuff, which is, cut our kettle corn business in half, what little we had left. And the governor doesn't seem to be working too hard to push for freedom here. So for whatever reason, she thinks it would be best to exfiltrate to other locations before February. It looks like of the locations the possibilities we have, Montana seems to be the most likely at this point. We still have some details to look up and verify, etc. But we do have a support system there. And so we may be heading up there in mid-January, trying to tie up some loose ends down here and maybe do some stuff on the way up there too. I know John has a claim up near Lake Havasu he wants me to look at, and we might throw that in. I'm not sure what else we might try and get done before that because we still have a bit of packing to do. However, the plan at this point, we have the Bago going again. Yeah, I know, Chris. It hasn't gotten sub-zero yet, but they anticipate it. January through March, there should be some sub-zero thing. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm not a big fan of something like negative temperature. Okay? I mean, I'm not into negativity, but be that as it may. So that's, as I say, kind of the tentative plan right now. We won't be able to travel truly light, but set up hydronic. I'm not sure what hydronic heating is, but it's very well insulated, and we have some really good sleeping bags too. Oh, hot water. And so I'm not terribly worried. I mean, I've slept in the Bago in sub-freezing temperature before, And I was just under 2 comforters, and I was fine. I was all by myself too. I didn't have Eva to help keep me warm, and we weren't in sleeping bag. We have some 0-degree sleeping bags that we can zip together and this and that. So I'm not terribly concerned in terms of safety.
I'll be right over there in a minute, Bear. I'm just trying to.
Yeah, Scott. Snow is beautiful. Sucks to drive in though. And I have a friend from Sweden who has he says the Swedes have a saying, there's no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothing. And I suppose there's some truth to that in terms of if I get the right clothing, all but the really frigid temperature. I know it's not, we're not planning on living in the Bago when we get up there. We have a place we should be able to stay.
Hi, everybody.
Yep.
I am here.
And so anyhow, we take the concentrator, the impact mill, the RC46, food, and
buy all the old mines that have petered out and use them to grow magic mushrooms and cave cheese.
Near Helena is where we would be going up there. My camper. Okay, I appreciate that, Cheyenne. I think we'll be in pretty good shape in Helena. The people we were working for this summer have some resources that we can tap into, and I think that we can live in a nice, domicile that's well heated, etc. Eva should be just fine. I'll be the one freezing my ass off. But anyhow,
your hair is ridiculous, Bear.
Oh, it was even worse when I got home. I took the hat off. It was hilarious.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
Oh, Chris says find a south-facing attic.
I say 0 degrees isn't bad if you're in the Bago at the same time. I agree if you're outside 0 degrees or in a tent, that would not be good. But the Bago itself is really well insulated, 1.5 inches of styrofoam. So that would be,
we will be
easy.
Great in the Bago.
Yep. And the overhead vent, I can just cut a piece of styrofoam and stick it in there just to insulate that spot. And also the front window, little one, and the rear window of the Suburban. Of the truck. We need to close that one off.
Yeah, we do.
But
you might want to just get a piece of plexiglass and put it in there.
Yeah, I say there's things to do, but not a huge lot as long as the Bago keeps running smoothly. Got a tire that seems to be leaking down slowly on the Beluga trailer, and so want to evaluate that a little bit.
Hi, Chris.
I thought I dealt with the leak, but apparently I haven't. So I'm not sure
Forrest.
why.
Hi, Cheyenne.
Hi, Forrest. And so, as I don't know. I have learned that when Eva's spidey sense is tingling, it's not infallible, but you ignore it to your, to your own risk. For example, this whole situation, she called really, really. Hey, smoking, joking. So that's why I'm considering. Now, we were planning on going up there next summer anyhow, so it's just kind of heading out early. And really did like the area in the summertime. I know I'm not going to like sub-freezing temperatures. But how well I deal with that, I don't know. Again, I think if you get the right clothing, it's probably not too bad. Do not forget a block heater and means to power it before you hit those. That's right. Well, the antifreeze is brand new. Don't have wiper fluid. Yeah, and I was thinking of 5W30 or 5W20. I'm not sure in an old engine like that what the best thing is, but I know I can find out pretty easily.
And of course you
Sure.
can ask questions, Smoking. We love questions.
That's one reason I like to come up every week, at least for air. So somebody, if they have a question, we can go ahead and deal with
We
it.
may even have answers. This is possible.
But yeah, I like the block heater thing. Yeah, you need to research that little one, see about a block heater for that 400. Does it replace a head bolt? Is that what it usually is? Because if so, there's a head bolt that we misplaced. If that one would work, that would be a good one.
Wow, Goldstream, 20 below. That's pretty bad. Where are you?
Yeah.
Now, Chris, answers may even match the questions. That's possible. And Chris says it usually goes in a freeze
plug.
Whatever the heck a freeze plug is.
I know what a freeze plug is.
You know everything.
No, I don't. Yeah. Freeze plug's a little. There's holes in the side of the engine block that are left there because of the casting process, and they're just filled with little sheet metal stamped plugs. They call them freeze plugs because theoretically, if your engine freezes, they may pop out and save the engine block from cracking. I'm not too confident in
Goldstream,
that.
I thought you were up there in Canada.
Kanakistan, huh? Man, that is cold place. So yeah, I could.
Nice. Oh, by the way, I don't know if everybody saw on the news, Bear. I meant to tell you, a 14-year-old girl set the world record for an atypical white-tailed deer kill. 42 points.
Wow, it's a hedgehog.
Yeah, the antlers look absolutely amazing.
Okay, let me see this. It would be nice to be able to read.
You need a 310057 Timbro block heater for that 400. Okay.
Okay, now, what manufacturer is that? You want to write that down, little one?
B&C 42. Oh, and by the way, that world record atypical whitetail was in Kansas.
Yeah. Do claims have to be staked? Theoretically, yes. Claims must have monuments on them or they're not valid. However, the monuments have to be checked once a year. So let's say somebody put monuments out there and then somebody disturbed them or whatever, and they were no longer visible or no longer extant, then theoretically, after the assessment year thing comes up, if the guy hasn't replaced them, then it would invalidate the claim. However, the recordation of the claim and the records of at BLM are the ones that are the first line of investigation. And so that's where you want. But if you're looking around very carefully and you don't see any claim stakes at all, it'd be really obvious, like in Arizona, a 2x2 wooden post, unpainted, is visible. That's hard to see at 1,000 feet. You can sample any place that's not claimed as long as it's open to mineral entry. You can have, for example, private land. You could have a military reservation, a
Indian reservation,
national park. All kinds of things can be not available for mineral entry. It has to be Bureau of Land Management land that is open to mineral entry. Generally, if it's just BLM land and it's not withdrawn, then it's probably open to mineral entry. You can check with your local BLM office. Circulating heater in the water hose. That sounds good. Your heater hose. I like that better than trying to pull a freeze plug. You need a Tucson heater to go to Tucson for winter. Nah, I need a Montana heater to go to Montana for winter. But yeah.
Forest says Forest Service is open also.
Yes, technically Forest Service is also open. They can be somewhat more difficult to deal with in some places. But yeah, federal lands that are normally open are Forest Service and BLM lands. I didn't think Forest Service because down here Forest Service is basically almost impossible to deal with, but you're absolutely correct.
Yeah, he says it's hard to find lines in the field. I don't want to make anybody mad.
As a general rule, if all you're doing is cursory sampling, you're probably not going to really make anyone mad. They may say, "Hey, you're on my claim, get off," and you go, "I'm sorry," and just get off.
Chris says, yeah, if you put the heater in the water line, you can also tie it to a hot water heater and let that warm the engine.
Yeah. Okay, so the whole mountain is BLM. Excellent. Say there's like the LR 2000 and stuff to look at, but that's, gosh, so kludgy. It's really, really hard to use that effectively, especially as it doesn't show the exact claim location, just like, in many cases, just the nearest section. It's in section 26, township 10 south, range 4 west. That doesn't, precisely locate it. However, if you look in a section and there's no active claims, that gives you a pretty good idea. What meteor shower? Is there supposed to be a meteor shower? Is it actually showering? Are we actually having meteors falling? I am a real good bad luck for meteor showers. Yeah, but that's only if it's listed in a quarter section, Chris. I was doing some stuff the other day where I was actually looking it up, and some places it's only section. Yeah, the recorder's office is usually the one with the actual paperwork to the end, and you can't get into a BLM office maybe now. With the COVID, nobody's home. Say annoying. Yes, there's our meteors. You might want to go out and look out and see if you see meteors. Little one, Aries 458 says there's plenty of meteors frolicking about.
What part of the sky?
The dark part, I would guess. We're in the middle of a city, so it's not too good. Usually it'll be from the west. I'm not sure why that is. He says he counted 4 per minute. Well, why don't you get out there, little one? I'm live streaming. Either that or you can live stream while I go out there.
Okay, I will go look.
Yeah.
You want me to go freeze my ass off? That's fine.
No, I can do it. Hey, Cherokee, how's it going?
Hi, Cherokee.
Yeah, 458 says east. So out the front door, just look out the window.
Hi, Cherokee. Bear is kicking me outside to freeze to death.
Just turn off the lights and look out the front window. You're going to want to turn out the lights first. You won't be able to see anything without it. Yeah, the county records, it has to be recorded at the county, but it all depends on how well they've got them electronically duplicated at this point. Some recorders' offices are easy to look it up on the internet, some not. County's GIS site. Define GIS. The county recorder, there's times I was looking for stuff. I just went down to the recorder's office and they pulled out the plats and showed me. But of course, nowadays that's more difficult to do. You still have to cross-reference. Yeah, it's just one of those things that there's no really good system. I was looking at a website the other day that said that they had, fairly up-to-date information on such stuff.
I saw one tiny one.
Well, they're all tiny unless it's big.
That's enough for me.
In a minute?
It's cold.
Wow. I'll have to go look when this is over. I got to be up at 7 in the morning, so I can wait a little bit. Geographic information says, oh, okay. Just when you get out there, you get to where you can actually write stuff down and work off of a map. And yeah, if you can't find the markers, then nobody can really get mad at you, because how was I supposed to know I was on a claim? Monument your claim properly. It's kind of like if a bicyclist doesn't have lights on at night and then he gets mad at you because you didn't see him. It's like, well, put a light on your bicycle. You're required to have it. I had I'm not sure if he was mad at me or not the other night, but I pulled up to a light and I looked and I could see this dark thing kind of, so I stopped and waited, and because I was rolling forward a little bit to turn right against the red light, and I see this guy, so I stopped, and I was halfway through the crosswalk at least. And he said something. For all I know, he said thank you. I don't know, but he was riding his bicycle through the crosswalk, and he didn't have a light on. It's like, that's why you're not supposed to do that. Chris, I don't know about where you're at, but where I'm at, those section corners sure are harder to find than claim monuments. Every once in a while, there's what they call a mineral monument, but those are miles apart.
I was too lazy to put on a nice heavy. Year was enough. Pretty good. It's not as good as it was last year, but it's pretty good.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I think the weekdays I think it's a little steadier this year. Clearly we didn't beat our one-day record for last year, but it seems to me there were some days that were going pretty darn slow last year.
Line. How's Arizona Gold Country?
Yeah, that's in your area, Cheyenne. In other areas, not so much. There's but yeah, if you can't see any claim stakes and there's not too many claims out there or whatever, I wouldn't worry too much if all you're doing is just some surface sampling. If you're digging trenches, that's a different thing. Then you want to be very careful. Oh.
Yeah, Big Tech is now planning to move to Texas.
Nope, haven't found out yet. I don't know what that brown material is, the chocolate brown heavies yet. Hey, John.
Hi, John.
It looks fine to me. Eva, it's buffering
Chris,
for you,
I
right?
can tell you it's hung up and buffered a few times on my computer. No idea what's going on.
Not at this point, Chris. I didn't bring much from Montana with me. They have a lot of material sitting at their ranch that we screened in mine, so I could easily get some more of it. But no, I do not have any with me.
Oh wow, man!
Yeah,
that sucks, Cherokee.
Yeah.
Yeah, no idea what's up with YouTube, guys, but it's buffering on this end too. I think things are getting odd in YouTube land.
Yeah, I think YouTube is headed the wrong direction business-wise on some stuff. And I mean, just looking at the amount of ads that you're seeing on YouTube now compared to what it was even a year ago, it looks to me like they're hurting for money. Either that or they're getting greedy.
Just so everyone knows, I'm investigating also putting his videos up on BitChute. And if anybody has any other suggestions, I'm also looking at Rumble because, yeah, YouTube's business model is getting bizarre.
Yeah.
Chris says, when you can get a small bit, hit it with a torch and see if it has an odor.
Yeah, like arsenic up my nose. Now, we'll worry about it. As I said, we get up to Montana, that's probably one of the things we'll do before the snow melts. And
Well, Cherokee, we actually have our own website, but it doesn't have streaming capability or anything on it right now.
yeah,
It's just a simple Wix website, and Bear hasn't updated it in a zillion years.
yeah, I haven't really done much there. I've been so busy doing everything else. And if I could find someone who would keep up the electronic stuff without me having to do
I did tell you that if we could find someone to write content for you, since you didn't want to write content yourself for your own website. I mean, don't you be putting it all on me.
I have no idea. I'll say I'm sure there's lots of things that can be done. When it comes to electrons, I try and avoid them whenever possible. I've still got a flip phone, for example. Yeah, say if you guys see ads on my videos, let me know, because I haven't monetized it. I don't intend to. And
yeah, right. He wants to manage his website. The problem with this is he doesn't give me any content to put on it. Now, I can sit around and make up stuff about gold all day.
Did you see how he spelled
Yes, I did.
It took me a while to figure out what he meant. Yeah, I think you may be right. Truth, you couldn't possibly care, Could be. Who knows?
Well, the only reason we worry about the
I know, Cherokee.
gold stream is because we're not actually monetized. We want to know if they start putting ads, because if they do, we expect to be paid for them. Because currently, the terms of service say they can put ads, and unless you are proactively signed up to get paid, you won't be. So we want to know if they start, so that we can make them pay.
If they're gonna put ads on here, I might as well get paid, but I'm not intending to do it.
Ideally, what I would like to find is a video and streaming service
You're
where we can control the types of ads that you see, which is why we might have to do something on our own at some point.
Yeah. I don't know. Especially right now with the trees. Geez, that's a lot of work. And I haven't been sleeping badly, but not as restfully as I would like because of the shoulder thing. I have some pain pills that will deal with it left over from my surgery. However, if I'm heavily medicated and I'm laying on it wrong and getting it worse, I'm not going to wake up. So I want to maintain just enough analgesia to make things reasonably tolerable. And I also want anti-inflammatories. That's why I'm taking ibuprofen primarily. And that will keep the pain where I can sleep and stuff. But if it starts hurting, I know to move around, or oops, I'm doing something wrong. And too much analgesia can be bad under certain circumstances. And so I'm trying to avoid that. The shoulder is getting slowly better. Slinging trees all day long is not the best way to improve the situation, but hey, what can you do? Life sucks, then you die. Tylenol is not an anti-inflammatory. It's also somewhat riskier on the liver, so I pretty much avoid Tylenol unless you need some analgesia and you're going to have surgery or something. Hey, Sailing Solar, how's it going? Yeah, I'm trying to do it as little as possible, but yeah, it's kind of a balancing act, Chris. Yep. I think I probably got those Gold Stream. 1,000 subscribers. Yeah, pretty sure I got that. 4,000 watch hours. Yeah, definitely I got that. Kidneys, Cherokee, ibuprofen is hard on the liver. I know Tylenol is too. Let's see. Why are you slinging trees? Money. I need cash. There's a guy here that we do kettle corn for in October, and he also does Christmas tree lots. And last year was the first year he just called me up and said, "Hey, you want to do a Christmas tree lot for me this year?" And the pay is reasonably good. And so I said yes. And then this year I'd already kind of committed to do a Christmas tree lot. Again, the pay is reasonably good. It's something different too. And then the week before, I dinged my shoulder up somehow. Have no idea. But some of those Christmas trees are well over 100 pounds. And so I had to be very careful. Let's see. Unless you talk about confluence point to find lode deposits. This mountain is peppered full of mines. What do you think about going to the confluence points to pan? Well, if it's peppered with mines, it might make it kind of difficult to isolate anything. The idea is to use the gold to work your way upstream, and then where it stops, then you go up the hillsides. If you got too much around there, it may make it kind of difficult to tell, but it can't hurt to try. And if you're in an area that doesn't have a lot of mines, then it'll help you find any deposits that are there. But whether there's mines or not, just notice, especially below the mine dumps, you may notice concentrations of gold because the rock's been broken up and sitting there for years, decomposing and stuff. And so you may find some concentrations of placer gold in the water courses just below and downstream of mine dumps. And yeah, it can be redone. I mean, the gold can be replenished to a certain extent. Beach slinging, it's interesting. I say it's kind of fun. It's a lot of work, but you may have noticed I don't mind work as long as I can handle it. It's a bit of a grind, but I'm 65 years old and I'm still dragging trees off of a semi truck. I'm pretty proud of myself. And the other guys are, they're impressed too. And yeah, Tylenol. I don't like Tylenol. The reason I'm really taking the ibuprofen is less. Yes, the analgesia is good, but trying to fight the inflammation, I think that's what's causing my issue. Something got inflamed, so things just aren't lining up properly right now. Well, they didn't have COVID then. No, price per sample, Cheyenne, was a good method back when the price of gold was stable. When it was $32 an ounce for 50 years, well, then so many dollars a ton. Yeah, that's a nice way of saying it. Nowadays, where it fluctuates a lot, it makes it very complicated. So you just go either with parts per million or ounces per ton. Most of the world uses parts per million, which is grams per metric ton. So that's kind of the standard we're heading to. Well, we're trying to avoid California, Cherokee. You came in a little bit late, and I will Update everyone who's come in a little bit late. How much to have a sample run and who you use? Is that what you wanted, Cheyenne? Oh, who do you use for an assay? Price per sample. It's $45 an assay. I use this guy here. If you look in the back of the California Mining Journal, I think he has an ad under Fast Fire Assay under Services. I've double checked him against some other labs. He seems to be, the double checks went perfectly. I mean, as close as you can get in real life. And he does fast work, easy to deal with. You just send a check with the stuff, and I mean, he's usually got it done within a week. So that's who I use. Back to Cherokee. The situation here, Eva's spidey sense is tingling and says we need to get the heck out of Dodge for personal safety reasons. I mean, I don't like the administration of the city or the state here with the COVID and everything else. And she thinks we need to beat feet either up to Montana or South Dakota. We don't have any support system in South Dakota. We have a pretty decent support system in Helena, Montana.
Hi, First Squadron, otherwise known as Alt Med. How you doing?
And so the tentative plan is to try and head up to Montana like mid-January. I know the timing sucks weather-wise, but we should have we're not going to be going up and living in the Bago. We're going to be in, quarters. And I think that if Eva feels really nervous here, she's not going to be happy anyway. But her spidey senses proved to be accurate at times.
Oh, Aries,
and so I take it seriously.
To hear that. My condolences.
What, where, who?
Aries' mom passed Easter Sunday from the liver cancer.
Oh, dear.
She blames
That's
Tylenol,
sad.
which would not surprise me.
Yeah. So, yeah, sorry, Aries. But anyhow, yeah, I agree, Cherokee Burr. And, good work, Alt Med. Sweet.
Yay, Alt Med. Way to go.
You're thinking of leaving Nevada. Well, it's all dominated by Reno and Las Vegas, isn't it, Forrest? Kind of the same thing here. Come to Idaho. Don't have a support system in Idaho. Have one in Montana. I have some work kind of lined up for this summer there anyway. So it'd be kind of just like going there and
Idaho is practically next door, so we could probably visit anyway.
Yeah. And let's say we got, prospector trips near Boise area and stuff like that. We'd love to visit him too. Actually, Helena isn't too bad temperature wise. I mean, it's not even hardly got below freezing this year so far. It'll get below zero unless it's really, really strange, but it's one of the warmer spots in Montana for some bizarre reason. And hi, Jane Munska. Just giving a little update to everyone, seeing if there's any questions needs answering before I go to bed. Got to be up at 7 in the morning, back to work for another 12-hour shift. And
yeah, Forrest, our mayor is following California too.
Yeah.
It's getting pretty weird.
Yeah, I say the whole situation just seems so weird. Hey, Ethan.
Says there's snow on the ground in Wisconsin.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. It's Wisconsin. Yeah, I've got some leave out there at the tree farm. So I'm kind of alternating between the two. Yeah, I know I know your local thing at the moment is pretty lax in Johannesburg, but I'm not sure it's still in California. You're surrounded, you know.
Lars says, come to the Monte Cristo mine in the Angeles Forest, California. We have deer, bear, snakes, and cookies.
Yeah.
You also have California.
I don't know about that, Truth Seeker. I was told that they had a BLM rally at the Capitol there, and they were outnumbered about 50-1 by the Second Amendment rally. So I'm not sure how many leftists there are, but as long as they're heavily outnumbered, they will usually keep themselves polite, you know.
Yeah, we can always, you know.
Let's see.
Yeah, we're going to be careful, Truth Seeker.
Yeah, that's the plan. I think maybe that's one of the reasons she wants to get up there in January. Travel may become not politically, administratively difficult, you know.
Ethan has a question for you.
Okay.
If I want to claim an old mine, do I need load claims covering all the surface above the mine, or is there a different way to do it?
Okay. The load claim, if there's no extant placer claim already, when you file the load claim, you get the surface rights and the subsurface rights at the same time. It extends vertically downward from your claim boundaries, except when the load outcrops inside your claim boundaries and extends downward at an angle. You can follow that load as far as it goes. If somebody had a load claim right next to yours, and yours is here, and theirs is here, and you have a vein and it goes like this to where it's vertically underneath theirs, it's yours. Okay. If you're going down dip underneath someone's claim boundaries, it's still your load. If it's a long strike, then it stops. Okay, strike being a horizontal direction along the vein. Let's take my simulated vein here. Okay, this is a vein. This is dip. Okay, this is strike. Okay, so right now this vein is dipping to the north and strikes east-west. So your north claim boundary is not going to be a barrier to your mining along this vein, but your east and west claim boundaries would in fact be a barrier. If the vein keeps going, you need to stake along the claim. But as long as you have a surface outcrop that you are claiming as a load, once you've got the surface outcrop, you can follow it down dip forever. It can get complicated in reality because of the way the rock is, and lots of lawyers have made lots of money over that. But anyhow, that's entirely possible, Aries. Let's see. Thank you, Jane Monska. We will. I'll be getting to sleep here shortly here, but I'm not real tired just yet, and I do have time to sleep in a little bit. Yeah, hey, let us know, Forrest. You know, love to see you again. Yeah, sailing, agreed. I like First Squadron and Chris having this conversation about drones. That's so cool.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Ethan. Yes, hey, if there is an extant placer claim on the surface, you can, under certain circumstances, file a load claim underneath it, but that doesn't give you any rights to the surface. You know, if they've already got that with a placer claim. So, Oh. Part of the reason I'm staying up too is I just took my evening medication and I want to give it time to settle down. No, thank you, Argonaut. That's what the whole idea of the live streaming is, so that I can just answer questions quick and easy, get some visuals, and if people don't understand it, or if I got confused, we can get it corrected right away. It works out pretty well. I enjoy it.
Chris pointed out a brief video on reading geologic and mind maps about how strike and dip are indicated and how claim boundaries work might be worth doing.
Yeah, I've also got one. Oh my God, I've forgotten it. I'm getting old, folks. There was another one I wanted to do an article for California Mining Journal on something that I thought, doing a hand survey, rough hand survey of stuff the way we did in Montana with the pseudo plane table and straight edge and tape measure and a ruler. I don't know, Aries. Most property, when you get the property rights, it'll tell you, do you have the mineral rights or not, etc. Quite often, the mineral rights do not come with the surface property rights of a normal piece of private property.
Sterling wants to know, a recent geology graduate in California. Congratulations, Sterling. Any advice on how to get involved on a mine?
Okay, now, Sterling, are you talking a small mine or a big mining company? Totally different approaches here. So I'll wait just a minute while you clarify that, and then I'll give you an answer. But this is exactly what I mean. This is why it's nice to live stream, because we can get this back and forth. Okay. Sterling, first of all, you say geology graduate in California. Okay. One thing that's important is when you get a degree is to get as broad a degree as possible that covers the field you want. For example, I talked to a head of a department a long time ago at the U of A and asked him, I said, I like extractive metallurgy. I think I might want to go to school and become an extractive metallurgist. He says, no, you don't. So it's too specific a field. Mining is very cyclical. It'll go in these 20-year cycles. There's technical reasons for that, which I may go into in a minute if we don't have anything else to discuss. But it's very, very cyclical, and you'll have times where they're just looking for anybody, and there's times where there's people with degrees that are, flipping hamburgers. So if you have a degree in extractive metallurgy and there's no jobs for extractive metallurgists frolicking about, you're kind of screwed. He suggests get a degree in material science. So that way, if with a heavy foundation in extractive metallurgy, that way, if the market is good for extractive metallurgists, you can get an extractive metallurgist job. But if it's not, you can go work for a plastics company or a steel company or a concrete, construction company. There's all kinds of things you can do with that degree. So first rule is get a degree that's as broad as possible, but focus as much as you can in the specialty you really want.
And Chris points out how important it is to get all the certifications, because he's got a bit of a pain. He didn't get his blasting certification, for instance.
Yeah. The other thing is, in like the big mining companies and stuff, mobility within the company is not necessarily that great. So you might look, for example, if you want to, advance fairly rapidly, you might want to look at a medium-sized company or a smaller, fairly strong, a junior, because mobility is going to be much faster. And if you hire up at Phelps Dodge, you're not going to advance very fast at all.
Cheyenne also points out they're always looking for geologists in North Dakota for the drilling rigs. It's a good place to get your foot in the door and
Yes.
make a few bucks.
And depending, again, this is where your geology degree, if it's relatively broad, not hyper specialized, becomes very useful. You can do that. Hydrology is another one. I have a friend who's a geologist, and he got a job in he got hydrology because groundwater is important.
Smoking wants to know, is it still done the same way? Get under it, blast into ore chutes, and then carts to the main shaft and lift, or is the cost and safety rules too much? Are there new and better ways? Depends on the ore, I would think.
It depends on the ore body entirely. One thing that they're doing now that's a lot more common than it used to be is cut and fill. There's a really good video on YouTube called The Mine Cycle. I think it's by Barrick or something like that. Really good video. I recommend it because they went to one of their mines and just kind of did the whole mine. It was very well done. It really was a really good overview of mining. They had an underground portion and an open pit portion, and I think they also had heap leaching and tank leaching. So it was great.
Aries wants to know, do you see silver being a worthy mining mineral as far as making money from it in the future? I do. I am a silver person.
Okay, let me finish my answer here, little one. The way you cut and fill is literally, if you have a decent size ore body, in this case it looked like they were cutting about 15 to 20 foot face, and they would tunnel into it. And while they're doing it, they were putting up rock bolt ground support and stuff like that, mine it out, and then they would fill the tunnel they had just made with fill. And it hardens, they move. Concrete is really only, $10 a cubic yard? Something like that. So that's $5 a ton. Well, if you've got ore sitting there at, let's see, a tenth of an ounce, $180 a ton, and you can replace it with concrete at $5 a ton, well, that's a lot better than leaving that ore as ground support. Drive a tunnel, pull back out, fill it up with concrete, go right next to it, drive another tunnel. You can get basically 100% extraction. That's relatively new. They weren't doing that 100 years ago. So that's one of the things. But a lot of things, equipment is so cheap to operate now, especially on large scales, that open pit is vastly more common than it used to be.
Oh, I have a question for Chris.
Okay.
Hey, Chris, I saw a really cool video on YouTube about how you can make your own bismuth crystals out of like Pepto-Bismol tablets and such. Do you really think this is a cool idea?
Well, we wait for Chris to handle that in his 3 different conversations he's juggling right now. In terms of silver, I've got no objection. It has gone up more than gold over the last 5 or 10 years. Silver used to be running like $6-7 an ounce. Now it's 25. Gold used to be running $1,000.
Jimmy wants to know, when we travel to Helena, do you turn in Dillon, go through the Twin Bridges area?
We will this time.
And Chris says it's cheaper to just buy the raw bismuth and recrystallize yourself. I want to do that. I want to make bismuth crystals. And
Jimmy, once we go from Dillon through Twin Bridges up to Interstate, whatever the hell it is that goes through Butte, I think there's another road that goes to Boulder. And then there's a grade past that. We're going to be towing a fairly heavy trailer and stuff. But we may just, once we hit the freeway, go down to, I forget what that town is. They were working on the road last fall. It's a longer route, but man, those mountains between Butte and Helena, that's some serious uppy downy crap. And I'd rather just avoid that. But from Dillon through Twin Bridges, to Boulder. I think the grade on the far side of Boulder wasn't too bad. Then it's all like downhill into Butte. Just on the other side of Boulder, just north of Boulder, is where I was fighting the forest fire last summer. Little teeny forest fire, but I was trying to keep it little teeny. Okay, yeah, Three Forks, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, from Three Forks up to Helena that way. That's right. That's what it was. And yeah, it was kind of a
Smokey wants to know
mess.
how much you need for an assay. It's what, about 30 grams?
Yeah, that may be what he was asking. I was thinking about money, but I think you're probably right. 30 grams is what they actually assay in general. Sometimes it's a 15-gram assay, depending on the lab and what you request. But that's what they actually assay. However, the size of the sample you take to get a good quality assay will depend upon the situation, primarily how evenly the gold is distributed and how fine the gold is. What's the size of the gold particles? If it's coarse gold like placer gold, 30 grams isn't going to tell you squat, because you're either going to have a really high number or a really low number. What you will not get is the accurate number.
Smoking says ore. Do you send ore or the heavies?
You can send either, depending upon what you're trying to determine. If you've concentrated it, you want to know how good is the concentration. So you're going to have a sample of the head grade, what you started with, a sample of the heavies, what you concentrated out of it, and you have to know the total weight of those heavies. You don't necessarily have to send them all. And then you'll have to assay the tailings to see where did the gold go. I've got some videos that basically show that process.
Jimmy says that's the trucker's route that you were talking about.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I've heard about it. We did not go. We went down to Three Forks from Townsend, because I didn't want to go up over the hills to Boulder and then try and do a road that I'd never been on before. And we knew the other one was flat. So that's why we took. But anyhow, to get back to the assay question, so you need to have a representative sample of the head grade of the ore, a representative sample of the heavies, and a representative sample of the tailings, and know how much head ore you processed to get so much concentrates and so much tailings. You have to do a mass balance on that, and that'll tell you where your gold is going.
Oh, and that guy wrote you an email, remember?
Oh, well, Jimmy, just keep an eye on our channel here, and my email is, there it is, right? hardrocku@outlook.com. And so when we're headed up there, email me ahead of time and we can set up a meet as we're going through. I always like to meet new people, and networking is really important in this business. But yeah, we'd love to stop and say hi to almost anybody. Let me try again. Equipment. They have to do a real serious decontamination. They're going to be quite annoyed with you. So concentrates would usually already be ground up and everything. If you just let them know these are concentrates, etc., and they can just split them down, then they're not going to be a problem. But it's always a good idea to let the assayer have at least a general idea of what you're sending them that you know. For example, is there arsenic in it? Is it an arsenal pyrite ore? Is it a telluride? Is it just a free milling ore? the more they know, the better job they can do for you, and the less chance there is of a problem. Chris says stream is hung. Okay, might need to repeat that about the cons. Okay. When you have a high-grade material, very high-grade material, if they're crushing and pulverizing and such, that high grade can contaminate that equipment to where subsequent samples are showing gold when there was really nothing there, which can lead people to bad decision making. So if you have high grade material, especially if it's very high grade material, you definitely want to let the laboratory know beforehand. Sometimes you actually have to pay a higher fee, because then once they've run your material, they have to do a special cleaning process. But if they don't know about it, then there's a lot of samples that can get totally screwed up, and that's a very bad thing for a lot of people. As a general rule, it's a good idea to, again, inform the assayer or the lab to the best of your ability what you have that you're sending them, instead of just what you want done to it, so that they can, first of all, evaluate how to run the tests for best accuracy, and also how to avoid a big problem like Chris was talking about there. And that's, in the case of Skyline Labs, accidental contamination of their line was $3,000 charge. Now, if you just wanted them to run some high-grade concentrates, then you could pay a $200 additional fee per sample. Say if you had someone, especially if it's already ground up, why do you need to run it through the pulverizer necessarily? But yeah, that's one of those deals where are patented mining claims worth the money, and how hard are they to get? Some aren't. How hard are they to get? Not hard at all if you've got money and you don't mind parting with it. Get a good patented claim very easy. Okay, if you're looking for a patented mining claim to use for, the private property purposes, and the idea that there's a mine on it or potential mining on it in addition, easier to calculate. Oh, wait, what's that in my hair? That's just my hair. But especially if you're looking like in the California Mining Journal or on the internet, the advertised prices of things are generally pretty steep.
Chris points out they can be worth it for the land sometimes.
Yes, that's why I said if you're looking for the private property value, then yes, that's a lot easier to evaluate also.
Well, Jimmy, we'll be happy to meet you when we're up there.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, so we'd love to see you. For all I know, we might be able to use your help on a project up there somewhere, and you could get some field experience, and we could get some extra help. What the heck? That's definitely close enough that we could coordinate.
Depends on the amount of surface disturbance. Smoking has a question for you here.
There was a really good article in the California Mining Journal this month on permitting. And I'm not sure, I think I put them over there, but it was on permitting and what kind of permits. And I highly recommend it. The typical way that the BLM wants you to do it is if it's for sampling, and always say it's for sampling if it's small scale, just always sampling. And it's a small surface disturbance and stuff, and there may or may not be a bonding. You file the notice of intent, they process it, they'll tell you what you need to do or not do. And be kind of specific as to what exactly you plan to do and how you plan to do it so that it can go faster. But it's always testing unless it's big, because as soon as you get into actually mining, as in I'm trying to dig this and process it for a profit, that's the purpose, then you have to go to a plan of operations. And that's going to take a lot more time.
Aries is asking Chris if there's a limit on acreage for a patented claim.
I believe it's the same thing as 20 acres max per claim. Now you can have a claim block that is, sold as a single unit. But when the actual patented claims, as I understand it, they were only 20-acre claims at the most. Yeah, see, that's the thing, is they can be put into a block, but I'm not sure how much, if there's max acres on a patented claim. Could you combine them kind of like an association claim into a single claim or not? I know I was working on a mine that had a number of patented claims, and they were all just like individual claims. They weren't, combined at all. Yeah, as they need to see what it says, because it's essentially a deed. So you need to read it carefully and understand exactly what it's saying. California Mining Journal, just a second, I'll get the issue.
Yeah, I think Bear got published again too.
Yeah. Ouch. Where is it? Oh, where is it? What's the month? Boy, it'd be nice to have a month where I could see it.
You hear it, I'll see.
December 2020. Okay. And
hold it up in front of the screen.
That is a nugget.
You gotta hold it up where everybody can see it.
I am. See?
Lower it just a little.
The top is that it right there? Maybe that's it right there. But yeah, it's a December 2020 issue. And
I believe you're in that one.
yes, I am. I'm not too happy with the article I wrote. Reading it now, I'm like, a little clutchy. Operation. Okay. Page 14. It was very well written. I thought it was extremely well done and informative. It gave a sufficient level of detail. And
he says, I can't tell you how much I appreciate all your help. Most people think I'm just a crazy gold seeker.
Yeah. And I really thought that article was well done. It was much better done than my article, in my opinion. And Smokin', thank you. We're passionate. Now, if you let your passion get away from you, then you become crazy.
True, Ethan. A normal gold seeker does not exist.
I've actually worked for them. They're professional miners. I mean, big companies and stuff.
Yeah, but I'm betting that none of them are actual gold seekers the way we are, meaning they're in it strictly for business. They do not get caught up in the gold fever.
Not generally, no. It's all about the money.
Yeah.
They're money seekers. Gold is the business, See, I'm trying to reach for some food here, and the shoulder is not cooperating. Oh, sorry, guys. I'm hungry. It's kind of a keto chocolate chiffon.
Speaking of which, I got some new keto goodies for you to try.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like peanut butter cups.
With a standard mining claim, you can put a small building on as long as it is not permanent. But patented, you own the land? Essentially, yes. That's correct. Although, if it's an unpatented claim, putting a small building on it, you have to get a permit for that. If you're actually going to put it, even if it's not permanent, and you can only be there like 10 days or something under normal BLM rules without getting some kind of permit.
Do not go nuts eating these. Have no more than one at a
No more
time.
than one? What the hell
Well,
is
first,
that?
I want to make sure that they agree with your stomach.
It says a keto snack, peanut butter.
And second of all, they're very calorie dense.
Oh, well, right now it's not bad. I've been losing weight slinging trees. So it's supposed to be some kind of like a Reese's peanut butter cup. The chocolate part tastes a lot like chocolate. The peanut butter part doesn't taste a lot like peanut butter. What do you think, little one?
It tastes almost, but not quite, entirely unlike peanut butter. Okay.
Yep, I agree. I don't know why they couldn't have just put some peanut butter in there.
Well,
I kind of like homesteading, yeah.
Chocolate and I have caramel.
Good night, Earl. I'm going to have to hang up here pretty quick, too. Oh, let's see. I hope nobody gets offended by this, but I survived. And right.
Do you want to try a bite of my caramel cup?
Okay, just a minute.
It tastes almost, but not quite entirely unlike caramel.
Yeah, and Aries, that's why we were talking about patented claims in terms of private property value, because it is essentially private property.
Aries says, go look at the meteors.
Okay. Eva, take over. I'm going to go look at the meteors.
Chris, I have no idea why they fake it. Okay, I really don't. But I figured I'd try them. Well, the caramel ones taste almost, but not quite entirely unlike caramel. Okay. Better than nothing. The chocolate part tastes fine. Actually, the problem, Chris, is that most peanut butter cups are loaded with carbs. They're loaded with more carbs than I eat in a day. So I need low carb chocolate, and they're really good at making low carb chocolate. They're just not all that great at making stuff to fill the low carb chocolate with. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing, Chris. I need some almost, but not entirely unlike tea. That would probably go really well right now, especially since I am a fruity dude who knows where my towel is. Absolutely. Sorry, Aries. I mean, you know, for people that can eat carbs, it's absolutely great. I have T2D. I do not want to take medication. And when I eat carbs, I am in pain and using a walker. So it's got to be low carb for me.
Yep.
And yes, Chris, 95% chocolate and unsweetened fresh ground PB works. But that's too much like work. You know, that means having to dump. Yeah. I can't eat carbs at all anymore either. If I had found out decades ago that carbs were my problem, I probably wouldn't have been in bad shape for as long as I was. But, you know, Lily's makes amazing chocolate. I love their chocolate. And it is really, really low carb. I think they might have a peanut butter out now, but their chocolate caramels, their salted chocolate caramel bars are freaking amazing. They are just yummy. Anyway, Bear's back. Did you see a meteor?
No, I didn't. You do that. I'm eating over here.
Oh, He's eating over there.
I'm getting to see what you get to see now.
Yeah.
I've never done this side of it.
Yeah, he gets to watch my side of it. I have a better monitor. I have a real computer. I don't have a little laptop. I used to be a potato freak, Aries, but these days I'm loving my cauliflower rice. It's,
I like potatoes.
Ethan, everybody has problems with the LR2000, always. It is designed not to work properly. It was built by the government. They don't know anything anyway. But yeah, specifically the last time we were on the LR2000, it was really functified. Yeah, Aries LR2000 sucks. The vast majority of government websites suck, though I will say the update on USDA actually works pretty well. I am pleased. Yeah, it would be nice if it works and if the MLRS works and it's released on time. I mean, stranger things have happened. This could happen. Monkeys might fly out my butt too, but I'd say the odds are pretty low on both of them. Yeah, I absolutely, Chris. It'll go off without a hitch. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. Monkeys might fly out my butt on that one.
I don't have any thoughts on Mine Cache. I presume that's a pay site.
Ethan, if it works after 2023, I am going to be surprised. I have spent so much time on government websites over the years that it's not even funny. And bureaucratic websites in general, and they never ever do what they're supposed to do in any reasonable time frame at any time at all. That's why I was so shocked that USDA's has actually turned out good. That was fairly amazing to me.
It's interesting to see the time delay.
Yeah. I told you it's different on my end than it is on your end. So yeah, we all know this.
Yep.
You need to wave at the camera.
I did. I said I was noticing the time delay.
Aries, I think a whole lot of stuff is going to be put on hold here coming up. I mean, something tells me that normal operations in the world are going to be somewhat suspended and rather problematic for a while. Yeah.
I'll take my chances. Actually, I should probably get my video camera.
Yeah, then we can make some money. That would make a great viral TikTok video, Monkeys fly out of senior citizen's butt. Be amazed. Well, that's the thing, smoking, is sites like Mine Cache that are, subscription fees. Websites that are actually built to make money generally work well. It's really weird. Come to think of it, if the monkeys are going to fly out of my butt, I probably should put a skirt on because I'm wearing a pair of those stretchy jeans and that could be a problem. All right, Chris, I will stop stapling wings on gerbils. I mean, I'll upgrade to hamsters, hamsters probably look better with wings anyway. Gerbils,
it's not a monkey, so but it's something.
Hi, Pixel. This is Pixel. All 23 zillion pounds of him.
He's pretty heavy.
The next COVID side effect, yeah, quite possibly. Though I did notice that the experts are still trying to decide whether or not having COVID gives you long-term immunity. So, okay, whatever.
Forbidden topics. No.
Oh yeah, that's right. Thou shalt not
Spread misinformation.
thou shalt not contradict the COVID-19 narrative.
Whatever it is today.
What it is today is the same thing it was yesterday, whatever they feel like it being. Yeah, I know it does, AltMed. I mean, I was just reading all the websites on the issue today because somebody was asking on a forum that I post on a lot. The Donald.win, as a matter of fact. I spend a lot of time on the Donald.win. And somebody was asking about the immunity issue. And so I did some quick research, and all of the narrative out there is experts are unsure, or experts are unclear, or experts are busily examining this and still have not come to conclusions. And it's like, biology? Somewhere, I think there's biology involved here. And last I checked, when you have something, it generally confers immunity.
Well, if you survive it.
Smokin says, the flying monkeys make me think of my rake. It got stuck under a semi. I lowered it to the ground, so I just put some stripped socks and ruby slippers by it. Yep, that would make sense. Nobody would recognize satire if it slapped him in the face with a limp salmon. Yeah. Well, we just have to flog them around the regimental square with some undercooked ramen. That's all, you know.
It is so funny that this computer, the video is delayed, but on that computer, the comments are delayed.
Yeah, I have no idea why. AltMed, I agree. Bill Gates has managed to make himself the center of the known universe, you know. Winging it, they've never been experts.
Geraldine, Eva is one of those people that is recommended not to take it because she always has weird.
Please wait while we try reconnecting. Oops.
Is that what you're seeing, little one?
Yes, that's what I'm seeing. On the top of your screen, it went away again.
It's buffering a bit.
Yeah. Land, but Chris is our rocket scientist who knows everything. He knows tech better than I do. So maybe there's a reason it has to buffer with such an audience. I don't know. Are you done stuffing your face?
Yeah.
Would you like to come back here?
Sure. I need to kind of close this up anyhow.
Bye, guys.
Oh. This cat has attached itself to me and doesn't want to let go. Any other questions here before we call it a night? I need to get some sleep here.
Bye, Chris. Bye, winging it. I got it as an adult and it sucked.
Yeah, I presume I'll be able to do this again next week. I'd say Sunday night seems to be a reasonably good time. Oh. So anyhow, shoulder's getting better slowly. We're looking to get things arranged to head up to Montana next month. And that's about it. Try and tie up some loose ends hither and thither and yon.
Well,
we'll see what happens.
Everybody.
Yeah, sorry you missed this, old man. It was kind of a spontaneous thing last week. I'm going to try and do this. I mean, first of all, I miss it. I miss all you guys. And this is fun. Spoken. And the other thing is that way people have a chance to ask questions and get them answered. Because sometimes it's pretty important. There's a gentleman that sent me the plans to a mine that he wants me to go over. And I'm like, I need to get someone to print that out. And our printer's out of ink or whatever. So once I get it printed out, then I can pay to work and back, which is 25 miles or so, monitoring everything, oil consumption, the whole 9 yards. It's a little hard to tell about the engine heat because it's so cool right now, and just it's fairly flat, so it shouldn't do anything in terms of heating at all normally. So I can't tell if it's got any issues or not. But we'll hook up the trailer and do a local test run before we hit the road, and go from there. But right now it seems to be running pretty good. Yep.
Yeah, YouTube has just been kind of.
Yeah, Chris has a YouTube channel. It's called Hard Rock University. We are so glad he's here too. He's a tremendous source of information and assistance, and we really, really appreciate it.
Chris is a totally cool person, and we love having him hang out.
Yeah. He's also got a lot of really good hospitality. When we were there, he was an amazing host. So thank you very much. Anyhow, I haven't seen any more questions or anything. So we're going to call it a night, and I'm going to get some sleep. So thank you all. Had another good time, and we'll try and get you next week on Sunday night is the plan.
Good night, everyone.
Happy prospecting, and keep it safe out there. Hold it. Chris said, wait a second. What is it, Chris? Still waiting, Chris. You seeing anything, little one?
Nope.
Say, Chris said, wait a sec, for some reason.
You're very welcome, Truth Seeker.
Yeah.
We're still here.
Watch that, Eva. You need a laugh. I'm not sure. Something you try.
Yeah, we don't have a link on this end.
Yeah, we're not showing anything except just your comment. Oh, well, I'm going to have to.
Because you should read that dude's email.
Yeah. So you take care. Bye-bye. Oh, there it is. There it is, Eva.
Okay.
So you'll be at the end of the comments.
Well, it's not showing on my screen.